What's happening, beautiful humans? My name's Darius. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to start by saying I really want to focus this video on a specific audience. And that's scary sometimes because you feel like if you go too specific, then people won't vibe with the video. But I think the opposite might be true. Specifically, my heart wants to make this video for individuals who are spiritually minded creators, specifically earlier in their creative journeys. Now, spiritually minded, what the heck does that mean? Really, for me, it kind of boils down to this belief that we are souls who chose to come here on this planet at this time in these bodies and these humans for something, for some sort of adventure, some sort of experience, some sort of exploration. And that's who I really want to work with. That's who I want to serve. That's what I believe. And so I just want to start the video by calling it what it is. If you are a spiritually minded creator earlier in your journey, this video is made specifically for you. I dug deep. I looked for my best tips that I use every day that have helped transform my artistry, my creativity, my spiritual presence. And so now that we got that out of the way, let me take a moment to also introduce myself. In case you don't know me, I am a professional photographer. I run a meditation community called Artist Morning, where we meditate, journal, and connect as a community. I have just over 15,000 followers on Insight Timer, which I think is super cool. I make videos, I write, I podcast, and I'm not saying this to show off to you. I'm saying this to let you know that I have over 14 years of creation, artistry experience. And for the majority of those 14 years, I resisted the title artist. So if you're here and you're like, but Darius, I'm not an artist. I get it. I understand. And maybe you are wrong. Because maybe the definition you are using is way too limited. What the hell is art? Who decides if something is art? For me, the way I use it is we are cosmic artists. We are here to express something from inside of us. Maybe that's a painting, maybe that's a book, maybe that's a podcast, maybe that's an omelet, maybe that's a home, maybe that's a family, maybe that's a dance. So when I say artist, when I say creator, I mean it in that broad sense. And if you're resisting it, welcome to the club. In this video, I'm going to share over the last 14 years, those best tips and practices that I have used on a regular basis as a spiritual creator. Now, I really think these work best for people that have that like spiritual soul-minded perspective, but maybe people who resist that will also find value in this. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm focusing in on that specific audience because that's where my energy, that's who my personality connects with the most. So with that, let me jump into some of my best tips to create content consistently as a spiritual creator. First thing I wanted to talk about is upgrading your mindset. Currently, most of us, unfortunately, are in a paradigm, a belief system around virality. Going viral, right? And I believe virality is actually a virus. This belief system that doing one thing could explode and change your life forever is so detrimental to creativity. Because the truth for 99.9% of artists and creators that do this consistently is not a single one-off big initiative, but rather a practice. A regular practice. And what happens, and I've seen this happen with so many people, because they are contaminated with the virus of virality, they will put a whole whack of money. They'll put put their life savings, they'll put their credit card into, I'm going to do this one big thing and get it perfect, because once this goes perfect, my whole life will change. And I've very, very rarely seen that work. Instead, we remind ourselves that the creation is a part of the journey. We're not trying to get to the end. We're actually enjoying the whole process of exploring and having uncertainty and not being sure and going up and going down and learning more and more about ourselves. And we let go of outcome and output and instead find joy in the moment, in the process. And so all my tips will be around this shift in paradigm from virality to practice, consistent, ongoing practice. And why this helps if you're a new creator is you don't need to do something spectacular to get started. You know, how many of you out there have started something and then gone 4 or 5 podcasts or blog posts or social media posts or whatever it is and then just quit? It's because there's too much pressure. Instead of creating consistent, small practices, we're trying to do big, one-off things that exert so much energy and lead to disappointment. And so when I talk to new creators, I always tell them, forget your first one. Figure out a system to get to the 100th one. And as soon as your brain's like 100, holy cow, then you're like, oh, I gotta go slow. I gotta go step by step, and I gotta have stamina. Instead of I've gotta do everything right and I gotta get it perfect and I gotta explode and it's gonna change my life. It's way too much pressure. Go gentle, go slow, build a practice and cleanse your mind of that virus that is virality. Here's one of my secrets. Here's one of my best secrets. Most people think, I don't know, I'm sitting on the ground, let me go sit on the bed. Yeah, right, cool. Most people think creativity is just flow. It's like, I'm an artist and I'm just gonna be open to energy and it's gonna come and, oh, I'm gonna express it. I don't know if anyone does it like that. I think that's like some sort of Hollywood illusion. From my experience of doing it myself for 14 years and also like looking at other artists, like structure is so fundamental to actually finishing something, okay? There's a good chance if you started something and you didn't finish it is because you didn't have enough structure. And so creativity for me is an endless waterfall. It's just this beautiful, like forever flow of energy. And if you open up the tap to creativity and you don't have any structure, what happens is it just puddles into nothingness. You're gonna get more ideas and more potentials and it's like more, nothing. Now, if you've implemented some sort of structure, then when you open the tap, it goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. Now, if you have too much structure, you're too rigid with your structure, guess what? Creativity doesn't go anywhere. So you need to find out for yourself what level of structure allows the flow of energy, of creativity to come through in a healthy, consistent manner so it gets to a specific spot. You can point it. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Now, what do I mean by structure? Structure can be rituals, practices. I'm going to wake up and meditate at this time. I'm going to journal. I'm going to come to Artist Morning on Fridays. I'm going to be in some sort of accountability group. I am going to time block. Time blocking is a really effective way to give yourself structure because for me, if something is not on my calendar, it's not real. So if I want to make these YouTube videos on Tuesdays from, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., I have blocked off time to work on this thing, or else it just flows and nothing really gets done. I have a beginning and I have an end and I have a time in my week, and then I focus and then I have accountability because I told you guys I'm going to ship 1 YouTube video a week for 10 years. And when I say ship, it's a term Seth Godin created. It's about shipping creative work, publishing creative work. I love calling it shipping. And so many of us have started projects, but have not shipped consistently. And the key reason I truly do believe is usually because you do not have enough structure. So it's like so many ideas, not enough structure, not an opportunity to get to a destination. Flow and structure. All right, if you got to this point in the video, you're a trooper, because this first point was mindset. Nobody likes talking about mindset. The second point was structure. And I know you might be thinking, D, come on, where's the fun? And that's exactly what this next point is, because what's the point of doing any of this stuff if you don't enjoy the creativity, if you don't enjoy making YouTube videos, if you don't enjoy doing yoga classes, if you don't enjoy making music, if you don't enjoy blogging and podcasting? Maybe in the beginning parts you're a little nervous, but really the whole point of this thing is to have fun. And so this next point is one that's all about fun, all about creativity, and one that, from my experience, not a lot of people do. So let me show you one of the juiciest, yummiest parts of my consistent creativity practice. Hold one sec. Here it is. My creativity altar. This is my space chair, aka the meditation chair. And you see, I have all these things intended to bring joy to my life, bring vibrance, bring radiance, but most importantly, to bring creativity. I see creativity as an energy, an essence, and I'm trying to lure her in. And so I have my favorite books, I have my favorite art, I have Little Darius, I have just things that inspire me, things that I feel like if creativity were to see me meditating here in the morning, she'd be like, yes, I want to hang out with this guy. That was not me passing gas, that was the chair moving, so stop judging me. But yes, find yourself a corner where you can build out this beautiful altar to creativity so that hopefully she blesses your life like she blesses my life. And that when you sit here, you just immediately start feeling more creative. Now, I did not start with all this stuff. I started with maybe like one tiny little thing. It was my gems. And then piece by piece, I just kept bringing more and more stuff that, you know, like this, literally I brought this guy today. It was a card from my dear friend Rebecca. And so every day I bring, not every day, that's not true at all. Every couple months, I bring maybe one more thing, two more things until, you know, and then maybe I move things out as well. It's a fluid, ever evolving thing. And so find your expression, find your joy, find your creativity, even in the seat that you sit before you start thinking about creativity. Okay, now for many of us, we are sensitive. We care a lot. Our hearts are open and we feel a lot of things. And we can get into the weeds. We can be so zoomed into an experience where we're overcritical and we're overanalyzing and we're so harsh on ourselves that we become paralyzed and we're like, this is too much. I can't create. I gotta get it right. I gotta get it perfect. Everyone's watching and it's just like so intense. So one of the secrets I found as a spiritual creator is an artist's prayer. Now you can make your own artist's prayer. And for me, the artist's prayer is a connection to God before, like right after my meditation, right before I actually start creating something, like before I made this YouTube video, before I make all my meditations. It's a simple prayer that allows me to remember that I am not alone, that I am guided, that this is about more than just me. You know, this is something coming through me, and it humbles me and it lifts me and it inspires me and it gets me out of the weeds where I'm being so zoomed in and overcritical. And I'll share with you my artist's prayer, and you can use it if you want. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video. There's like a 60-second version of it that I listen to, but sometimes I just recite it myself. So here's the artist's prayer. It's really simple, and it's on a piece of paper in my altar over there. Of course it won't there. So I like to see it too, but here it is. Dear God, use me as a vessel for your divine expression. Use me as an instrument of your love. Give me the courage to go into the depths of my heart and find my truth, and the courage to bring my truth up and out into the world. Whatever happens from there, I let go and I let God. It's powerful. It reminds me to let go. It reminds me that there's divine opportunities for something beautiful, something meaningful to come through me and out of me. And so you can use mine, you can make your own, but I highly suggest having something to ground that energy before you go into the creative process, so you can remember that it's more than your mistakes and your imperfections and getting the script right and getting it perfect, because none of that exists. We get out of the way and we let divine expression come through us. This next tip is for when you've dug deep, you found the thing you want to express, you created it, you kept to that practice, you built structure, you built flow, and then it's like, oh my God, it's here and I'm going to ship it. I'm going to share it with the world. It's a beautiful thing. And it's a complicated thing, because now we have said to the world, this is the best of me. This is the best I could do in this particular moment, and here it is. And a lot of stuff can come up. A lot of like, oh, what's happening? Will people receive it? Will people be critical of it? Will people listen? Will people care? Will people come? I get it. And it can be overwhelming, and you're allowed to be overwhelmed because that's a part of the process. But if you want to do this on a consistent basis, I highly recommend coming up with a ritual, a practice to help you bless and release. Bless and release. Because as a creator that is letting go of virality and stepping into this practice, this long-term practice mentality, you want to close as many loops as possible so that you can be like, great, that's my best work, bless, release, see you later, so that now I can make space and focus and energy for the next thing. And that's what the practice is. It's like, that was the best. Now I put it out into the world, and it's no longer, people can feel and think and care however they want to. It's not my business how they receive or don't receive it. My business is to do the best, most honest work I can do for that particular moment, and then bless and release. And literally I do that. I go bless and release. You are no longer mine. I do not have attachments. This is the best I could do. I'm proud of you, and I want to put you out into the world. Now there's a lawnmower guy downstairs doing some stuff, but we don't care. We can stay focused, and you can still hear the message. Because the message is, even at the end, after you share the thing and you're just, are there more views? Are there more comments? Are there more likes? Are there more subscribers? I know, I do this myself. Airplane mode is my friend. After I do the thing, maybe I'll stay online for a little bit and respond to comments, and then I gotta just let go. Or else that attachment to an outcome, to an experience of the audience takes up space that I can be putting towards the next project. And I just wanna say, I suck at this one. I get really attached sometimes. I monitor numbers too much, and I'm a work in progress just like you, and it's okay. It's okay to be in the journey, because guess what? I'm not dead yet. I'm still alive. I'm still growing. I'm still making mistakes, and that's who I am. I'm showing you the real D because I think it's really important, because I think sometimes we see people on YouTube and Instagram and on Insight Timer, and we think, oh my God, they've got it all figured out. Nobody has it all figured out. Maybe they pretend they do, but nobody has it all figured out. Nobody. Okay, I got excited by that one. Geez, lawnmower guy, come on, I'm making a YouTube video. Bless and release. Come up with your own bless and release practice to cut the cords and let the creation do its own thing. 1, I'm on a bouncy ball. Okay? Okay, so you're like, how does he get so floaty? This is how I do it. 2, this lawnmower guy is not relenting, and I feel that part of me that's like, well, I'm gonna have to wait till it's perfect. He's annoying, he's out there, and he's messing with my flow. And because I have structure and I have a set period of time that I've allotted to this video, and I'm trying to get to that end of my creative sprint with these YouTube videos, I'm like, screw perfection. We're gonna get it done, and it's gonna be wonderful. And no one's really gonna care, and I'm just gonna show you guys the sausage being made. So here it is, the sausage being made. Darius on a bouncy ball, lawnmower guy. I think he's still there. The point in this last point is not about bouncy balls or lawnmower guys, but what I wanted to talk about was a really important point. I know lots of you out there are like me. We care a lot. We get really excited about creativity, and we'll almost just like do it for free. I've done so many things for free, and it's because I love it, and there's nothing wrong with doing things for free, because I'm a firm believer that not all art needs to make money, but all artists do. And I've made the mistake of like, I'm just gonna pour myself into this art, and it's gonna pay off, and it's gonna explode. And then when it explodes, I can pay off all the bills that I didn't pay for the last 6 months. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Instead, that idea comes from the virus. You know, virality is a virus. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go viral, and Hollywood's gonna be knocking on my door and everything's gonna change. Screw that. Instead, fund your art. Fund your art long term. Your day job, your side hustle, whatever it is, whether it's related to your art or not, respect it, value it, because it's funding your art. You don't need to quit your day job. I hate when people say, quit my day job. You don't need to do that. It's too much pressure. You can keep your day job, use it as funding to allow you to do things for 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. And usually the path is, if you've done it long enough and you've got practice and you're enjoying it and it's starting to slowly generate revenue, once that revenue reaches the point that it's like at the same level as your day job, then you can say, okay, maybe it's time to like bring this down or move away from this and do this full time. But you do not need to quit your day job. You can do whatever art you want on the side, I promise you. You can do it for a couple of hours a week. See if you actually enjoy it. See if you're actually committed to it. See if you can create a small little practice for a couple of weeks, whatever the practice is. It might be the smallest, simplest thing. It doesn't have to go on social media. It doesn't have to make money. And then you can grow that 5 hours to 6 hours and 7 hours and 8 hours if you like. Not all art needs to make money, but all artists do. If you are not making money and you don't come from a wealthy family or have a ton of savings, guess what? You're gonna reach a point where your virality never showed up, and then you're gonna quit the thing you're doing and start to resent your craft, your passion, your art. Be like, that messed me up. That was the wrong step. And it wasn't the wrong step, it was the wrong strategy. Not all art needs to make money, but all artists do. Those are my points. Thank you for listening. These points have sincerely made a huge impact in my life as a consistent artist, as a consistent content creator, as a consistent guy that goes into his heart and shares, his truth. And when I say consistent, the last thing I want to say is it's not this. For me, consistency was this. I would share stuff and then disappear, share stuff and then disappear, share stuff and then disappear. Until I started implementing some of these practices and I realized I don't need to explode. I can slowly but surely and pleasurably, enjoyably grow. Thank you for watching this video. Last thing I want to say is, for those of you that don't know, we have a community called Artist Morning. We meditate, journal, and connect as a community every Friday. It's totally free. Everyone's invited. Come join us. If you enjoy this content and you consider yourself a spiritual creator, whether you embrace the term artist or not, everyone is welcome. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.